To our viewers watching on PBS in the United States and to all of you around the world, welcome. We begin the day entering the 5th month of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. And what seems most certain tonight, there will be many more months until an end to the war becomes plausible and possible. The planning and the decisions made this week by Western countries could all have long time horizons. G7 countries have agreed to place price caps on Russian oil sold abroad. Now, the plan is untested, but if it works, it could deal the final blow to Vladimir Putin's ability to finance the war in Ukraine. The changes at NATO could also be in terms of years, not months. NATO announcing plans to increase its rapid response forces from 40,000 to 300,000. And that will include a sizable increase in the number of U.S. soldiers stationed along NATO's eastern flank, where the alliance and Russia meet head-on. We'll discuss the pros and cons, the risks and promises of all of this in just a moment. But first, this report that begins at the end of the G7 summit in Bavaria.
Unity among close allies. That is the symbolic message the G7 aimed to send to the world. Despite a litany of problems facing the planet, the atmosphere at the final session on Tuesday seemed relaxed. On Monday, Ukraine's president joined by video link. Russia's war dominated the talks. The world's 7 largest economies and the EU determined to support Ukraine for as long as it takes. But the summit also looked forward to the time after the war. The most important thing is that we want to get together from the perspective of the G7, but also with others, including the European Union, to discuss the question of reconstruction. We need a Marshall Plan for Ukraine, and it needs to be well planned and developed. That is what we've set out to do. Across the globe, countries are feeling the knock-on effects of the war. So it was good that leaders from the global south joined the summit, nations like India, Indonesia and Senegal. Among their concerns, the fight against hunger. To address that, the G7 and the EU have established a global alliance for food security, pledging over €4 billion this year to help those facing the worst shortages. Another major focus of this summit, the battle to protect the climate. Scholz put forward a plan for a climate club, open to all nations willing to commit to the goal of limiting temperature rises to 1.5 degrees and becoming emissions neutral by mid-century. We all agree what the future holds, which is not gas. This is particularly true for Germany. We want our economy to be CO2 neutral in 2045, and that has consequences for the question of the use of fossil resources, whether it's coal, oil or gas. But climate activists, some of whom protested near the summit venue, say extending use of fossil fuels, even for a short time, is the wrong response to energy shortages.
We are angry that leaders at the end commit to long-term targets, but not commit to the immediate measures needed to give a clear frame to the industry, to phase out fossil fuels and to enter into renewable energy in a much more rapid way.
Those arguments will continue, but for now, Scholz said the G7 has demonstrated what democratic alliances can achieve. From the Bavarian mountains, the world's richest countries standing in solidarity against a backdrop of uncertainty.